Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at an expansion for Hexaquest. In this case, it's Disc Jockey. Now, these are all standalone expansions. You can play them by themselves, or you can play them with a base game. If you want to see how multiple categories work with the base game, you can just watch our video review of Hexaquest, and you'll see that. But for this, we're just going to show you what you're going to do with this standalone expansion. Now, the standalone expansion comes with a couple extra modes that you can use. This one has wall pieces. These wall pieces are immovable. When you set them out, they'll be there forever. I'll show you what that means in a little bit. You also have event cards, and these event cards get shuffled up, and players can pick these event cards to happen instead of having to pick a tile to answer a question on. Now, each of these event cards here, this is not mandatory. So this one here, they're going to do whatever it says on here. So this is equalize. Whoever's the most points gives hexes of their choice to the player on the right. So these are sort of just like event fires it off. That's an optional expansion again. You don't need to use it. Same with the walls. Now, like I said, each of these categories that you can get expansion for, focus on something, and this is going to be music. If you're playing this by itself, you're going to take the tiles from the game, you're going to shuffle them up, randomly place them out. So when I randomly place them out here, I'm going to make a little hexagonal grid here of some form and try to do this as random as possible. And what's going to happen is on player's turn, they can pick one of these. If they pick this one, they're guaranteed to get that category. Now, there's only one category in here, so they're guaranteed to get the category, but they don't know the point value. So if you're playing this with just one category, you're going to probably want to pick from the numbers you can see. So this will be worth 5 points. However, it's going to be a much harder question. The person's going to their left is going to get this little question card here, and they're going to read off the question here. So this is a 5-point question. Who released the first music CD pressed in the U.S.? And you can say A, Madonna, B, Bruce Springsteen, Queen, or Bob Dylan. And then down here it's going to show you the answer was Bruce Springsteen, but you're going to see which one they answer. If they answer correctly, they can get that 5-point hex. They can then push their luck and do a second one, and they have to get that question right. If they don't get that question right, they lose all their points. They could do this up to 3 times. And you're going to continue on going until you're out of these little hex tiles. If you mix the walls in there, they're just going to be spaces that you can't move, so you have to move around them. And then if you use these event cards, again, you can do an event instead of doing the questions. And that's it. That's all there really is to the rules of Hexaquest, especially when you come to the mini expansions, I guess, so the one category expansions if you play them alone. There's a lot of other things that happen when you add in the multiple different categories that are cool, but for now, if you do this as a standalone, that's how you play it. So my thoughts on it is that this is best if you have the base game. It's always best if you play multiple categories. So I would recommend getting Disc Jockey, A, if you like the category questions of music related field, and also if you have the base game and you like it a lot. Adding extra categories to the base game is always great. It's always good to mix and match those for the audience that you have playing the game. So if your friends and family come over and no one knows anything about music, you don't use that one. But if everyone's music buffs when they come over, you would add this category in with the base game. So my recommendation is that I'm not necessarily too sure about this being like a standalone, maybe a couple times before you get the base game in, but it's best if you like the base game to pick up these expansions to add extra content to it, and it just makes that even better. So that's my thoughts on the Hexaquest Disc Jockey expansion. Thank you for watching.